Eala seeks revenge versus Valentova in Qatar Open. Filipina tennis sensation Alex Eala will face former tormentor Teresa Valentova of the Czech Republic in the opening round of the 2026 Qatar Open scheduled on Monday at the Khalifa International Tennis and Squash Complex in Doha. Eala, currently ranked world number 45, is looking to bounce back from a tough 6-1, 6-2 loss to Valentova in the Japan Women's Open last October. The 18-year-old Czech player is currently ranked number 44 in the world, while the 20-year-old Eala is world number 45. Both young guns who reached their career high in the singles world rankings. Eala looks to exact revenge on the Czech, building on her quarterfinal finish in singles and semifinal finish in doubles with Janice Chen of Indonesia at the 2026 Abu Dhabi Open Doha. Eala, the first in the Philippines to do it so, won her first WTA 125 title in the Guadalajara Open in 2025. She defeated top players Iga Swiatek and Madison Keys in the Miami Open also last year. Valentova is a French Open Juniors champion, winning in singles and doubles with Renata Jamrichova in the 2024 Editon Doha. In 2025, she made a breakthrough and reached her first WTA tour level, where she finished as a runner-up to Leylah Fernandez at the Osaka Open. So far, Valentova earned 2 WTA 125 titles in the 2025 Grado Open and 2025 Porto Open Doha. With two rising stars making waves in the tennis scene, the left-handed Eala is known for her aggressive baselines and forehand swings, while the right-hand Valentova is known for her signature slingshot forehand. At the Abu Dhabi Open, Eala capped her run in the singles, bowing to world number 11 Ekaterina Alexandrova of Russia, while her doubles run with Chen ended after losing to 2025 Berlin Open doubles title holders Teresa Mihalikova of Slovenia and Olivia Nichols of the United Kingdom. It will be an uphill battle for Eala, as the tournament is stacked with high-caliber netters including Swiatek and reigning Australian Open champion Elena Rybakina of Kazakhstan. Defending champion Amanda Anisimova of the US is also set to play, while Coco Gauff of the US and Mira Andreeva of Russia are also in the draw. Under the floodlights of the Khalifa International Tennis Complex, the court looked less like a rectangle of paint and more like a stage, one where old wounds were about to be reopened. Alexandra Eala stood at the baseline, rolling a ball between her fingers, her eyes fixed not on the service box but on the figure across the net. Teresa Valentova. The name still rang with unfinished business. Months earlier, on a colder court 5 from the Gulf, Valentova had been the one to end Eala's dream run. It wasn't just the loss, it was the way it happened. A tight third set, a disputed line call, a forehand that clipped the tape and died cruelly on Eala's side. Valentova hadn't been arrogant, not exactly, but she hadn't been kind either. A brief fist pump. No apology for the net cord. Tennis, she'd said later. Margins. Eala remembered the margins. Now, in Doha, the margins felt thinner than ever. The umpire called time. The crowd, an eclectic mix of locals, expats, and traveling tennis diehards, settled into a hush that felt ceremonial. Eala bounced the ball once, twice, 3 times, and served. From the first rally, it was clear this would not be a gentle reunion. Valentova came out swinging, her ground strokes flat and fearless, skidding low on the hard court. She took the ball airily, rushing Eala, trying to drag her into short points and shorter patience. It was the same pattern that had worked before. But Eala was not the same player. She absorbed the pace, redirecting with heavy topspin, pulling Valentova wide with angles that bent like questions. Her footwork, always her quiet strength, looked sharper, more purposeful. Every step seemed to say, "I've been here before. I learned." The games went quickly, then not at all. Juice stretched into advantage, advantage into juice again. The crowd murmured appreciatively as rallies lengthened, each shot a test of nerve rather than power. At 4-4 in the first set, Valentova struck. A backhand down the line, clean, decisive, earned her the break. She let out a restrained come on, barely audible, but Eala heard it. The first set slipped away 6-4, Valentova efficient, unflinching. Eala sat at the changeover, towel over her head, eyes closed. Revenge, she knew, wasn't about rage. Rage tightened the arm. Revenge, in tennis, was about memory, about recalling every mistake and choosing not to repeat it. When she stood again, something had shifted. The second set began with a break for Eala. It came not from a single spectacular winner but from pressure. Relentless, Patient pressure. She extended rallies, forced Valentova to hit one extra shot, then another. A forehand sailed long. A backhand found the net. Eala didn't celebrate. She simply walked back to the baseline, calm as a metronome. Her serve improved. More bite, more variation. A wide kicker here, a body serve there. Valentova, suddenly, was the one reacting. The Czech's shoulders tightened. Her glances toward her box grew more frequent. At 3-1, Valentova tried to change the rhythm, slicing low, bringing Eala forward. It worked once, twice. Then Eala adjusted, carving her own slice, feathering a drop shot so soft it seemed to apologize as it landed. The crowd laughed, delighted. Eala held for 4-1, then broke again with a blistering forehand cross-kick that drew a rare gasp from the stands. The set ended 6-2, emphatic and fair. One set all. The match had become what both women feared and craved, a third set in Doha, with the night growing cooler and the stakes growing heavier. The final set was war by increments. Games traded, neither player giving an inch. Valentova found her range again, striking boldly, refusing to be pushed entirely onto the defensive. Eala countered with variety, mixing heights and spins, refusing to be rushed. At 3-3, the longest game of the match unfolded. 20 minutes. 8 juices. One rally stretched to 30 shots, ending only when Valentova's legs finally betrayed her and a forehand clipped the net. Eala raised a fist, not to the crowd, but to herself. She broke. But revenge, like victory, is never linear. Valentova broke back immediately, stepping inside the baseline, swinging freely as if daring fate to stop her. At 4-4, the tension was nearly unbearable. Every point felt like a referendum on the past. Eala served at 5-5, down 15-30. She paused longer than usual before her next serve, looking up briefly at the lights, then at her opponent. Valentova met her gaze without blinking. The serve came fast and wide. Valentova reached it but floated the return short. Eala moved in and struck a forehand. Not too hard, not too safe, just right. Winner. Deuce. 2 points later. She held. 6-5. Now it was Valentova's turn to serve to stay in the match. The first point went quickly, an ace out wide. The second, a double fault. The third, a rally Eala controlled from start to finish, finishing with a backhand that kissed the line. 15-30. The crowd leaned forward as one. Valentova missed her first serve. The second came in, slower. Eala stepped in, took it early, and sent it deep. Valentova scrambled, sliced, survived. 30-30. 1 point from a tiebreak. 1 point from pressure. On the next rally, Valentova went big. Too big. Her forehand sailed long by inches. Match point.